Hi guys, welcome to 8 of Cups Tarot. Tonight I wanted to do a special pick a card reading for the Sagittarius eclipse that occurs tomorrow. Now keep in mind that, and especially when it comes to moon energy, it's very fluid. So you may already be experiencing this energy, or, it could happen in even 3 months from now. And whatever it is that's occurring at this time will likely play out in the next 6 months. And it's kind of a push and pull energy as well. It's making it's actually making a lot of squares, which means that there is somewhat of power struggles, especially because we have a Jupiter-Pluto conjunction around the same time, and the nodes are shifting. So there's a lot of things that are culminating, as we can feel, obviously, within the collective, within society, that tensions are kind of at an all-time high. And although we seem to have stepped into a level of peace, I feel as though we are all preparing energetically for the next thing. We've been on a roller coaster ride, and when things start to get quiet, there seems to be a way for something or everything to suddenly fall apart. So there's probably a lot of anxiety and a lot of fear, and also an awakening within all of us. And it's a shifting in consciousness. And this particular eclipse is extremely powerful because it is squaring these aspects. There's an element of having to overcome, having to leave behind. There's endings so that new beginnings can come in. An eclipse energy can be, I like to explain eclipses to everybody as a period of time in which the veil is very thin. And you have to remember this is doubly true because the moon makes a square to Mars that is in Pisces, conjoined nearly with Neptune, or, getting closer in that aspect. So there's something very spiritual about the surrender with this eclipse. And it's almost as if we're being asked how strong our faith is. Beliefs are being tested because our mind is taking such a rapid amount of information in as we are deciphering these stories from all different perspectives. We're in retrograde phase, so what we're hearing is triggering old wounds from our past. People can start coming back from our past. Old debts, if we're talking about money, you may start getting letters about things you didn't realize you owed. There's just an overall sense of instability, kind of expecting the unexpected. And we have to be careful with that energy because although Neptune can make things feel really confusing, it could also, be a part of removing the masks, kind of crashing the illusions. Where we've held people to high regard, we may be able to see them from a different perspective for who they truly are. If we're being, swindled or taken for granted now, we start to see things clearly. So although we could have pain and suffering and change that comes with this, it's all with enlightenment. And the less we resist, the better. You know, if you're very stuck in your views and not willing to talk or especially to listen, to open your eyes to different kinds of news, to different ways of seeing things, and you know, there's a level of accountability here. Maybe some of us are starting to look at how we've contributed to situations and where we need to make changes. It's all about direction now with this eclipse. There's doorways opening, pathways being lit up for us. And as I said, the veil is thin, so we're being supported by ancestors, by our spirit guides, by our intuition and our higher being, and we're being called towards our purpose now. You have to understand that when things are so big collectively, they're also playing out in our personal lives in that way. And we're transforming, and it's so quickly because we're shifting into a very air energy. We are simply forced to let go of the old burdens, the old pains. They can't come with us. And so we're reaching and ascending, and it's easy to let go at this time. You have support. Where you resist the path of least resistance, things are being presented to you, and if there's hesitation, you know, you have to be able to recognize your blockages and move forward. Simply looking at them clearly will help you to dismantle them and to correct your actions at this time. So I have 3 piles of cards here, and you could check out the thumbnail of the video if you want to take a closer look, get a feel for the stones that I've used. Pile number 1 is a citrine. Pile number 2 is a rose quartz. And pile number 3 is a smoky quartz. So let's get started with pile number 1. Sorry guys, I try to get them as straight as I possibly can. Okay, so first off, 7 of Pentacles, card of failure. Well, you know, the definition of failure in itself is a little bit blurry because there really is no such thing. You know, the universe always gives you the ability to learn and then hands you a new opportunity. It is always providing. And so we have to learn to take things less seriously, less personally in a way, because if you ask anybody who has really reached a level of success in their lives, they will tell you that a big part of that success was a lot of little failures. A lot of ways in which they had to learn and overcome and perfect themselves. Now this is coming out over the 11th house, card of friends, connections, community. If you are struggling to find success in connecting to others. If you're having a hard time, maybe with the social distancing, you've kind of felt like you've lost touch. Maybe you feel as if you haven't been a good friend or a good neighbor or a good sibling, maybe even representing business. If you have failed at a business, a store, if you feel like you've had a loss in that area or you're hitting a brick wall, it is likely that there is a process going on right now. Next to the card of failure is the card of art. It is the card of alchemy. And just as I said, it is the little failures that we learn from, in which we become wiser. And this comes out under the 12th house: escape, retreat, and solitude. So although I feel like you have been in a period of maybe, going within, being alone, feeling a little bit alone, in a way, the 12th house is where we surrender, as I talked about, that Mars in Pisces. It is in the letting go, in the forgiveness of ourselves, in the learning how to be kinder to ourselves, that we begin to learn. And the 12th house is a place of solitude. It's a place of, things can be coming to you in your dreams. You could be doing a lot of, dream work. So if you're feeling a little bit low, a little bit depressed, and it's easy to get that way. It's easy to get kind of lost in, the pains within the society. If you're watching the news and you're just kind of riddled with the feeling of doom and disappointment, what's going to happen next? Where could this possibly go? It may be best to kind of turn the noise off, turn the news off. Don't check it so often. Take the alerts off. Make a safe space for yourself at times, because if you go within, you could really create something beautiful. This kind of creativity is being created at this time. Now, also, there's a level of, not being connected to others, that level of solitude, and maybe like a restriction on, the area of which you desire, your passions. You may have to keep that subdued. You may have to keep that to yourself at this time. Maybe you're not comfortable expressing yourself. But this comes out next to the Seven of Cups. And the Seven of Cups is the area of confusion, of illusion, of dreaming. There could be a lot of options, a lot of paths that you can take, a lot of different ways that you can proceed, and this comes out over the card of Venus. Venus rules our finances. She rules our love life, our desire. She rules our recreation, what we do to have fun. And it is a warning that what you perceive as loss or what you perceive as failure, you have to be careful not to go in a place where you're escaping things, maybe via, drug use or drinking or, anything, that coping mechanism that could kind of make things hazy, can make it hard for you to really connect with your heart. And Venus wants you to connect with your heart right now. It's not a time to go about things, you know, I don't know. I think you have to follow your intuition if you're making decisions regarding your love life, regarding your career, regarding your money. And I think ultimately what the eclipse does is it comes in and it gives you the direction, it gives you the answers. You get to clear away the haziness and, you know, like I said, illusions that are breaking free. And the Princess of Swords can kind of cut through. She can operate in the dark and she can operate quickly and she could cut things out of your life. She can cut out habits or coping mechanisms that don't serve us anymore. She can help us regain our control and our direction in life. And the Princess of Swords comes out under card number 41. Victory and Miriam. And I really like the way that both of these cards are showing somebody who's sort of reaching out. You know, it is a card of enlightenment, of receiving answers from, you know, a very high perspective, an area of enlightenment, looking at things in a different way, sort of looking down as well. You know, the Princess of Swords at least is kind of looking down, ready to kind of attack and go after what she wants to. And the Victory of Miriam, the card of 5, and it's reaching for the higher good, the higher purpose. I do want to read you a passage off of this card because these are very spiritual cards and sometimes the words can kind of resonate for you in all different ways in your life. You feel you are immortal, and I know you are divine. You feel you are not ready for the task, and I know that triumph is only moments away. You reach to me for protection, but you are me, and the protection that you seek is already with you. We are not apart. I am living through all that you are and all that you love, all that you have lost and all that you offer to me in surrender. I am in you as your courage and magnificence, and any task I send to you is simply one of the tasks for which you were born to do. You are an eagle with wings ready to soar, so I push you from the cliff top that you may know yourself. It's definitely taking a leap. It's taking that leap and having faith in your direction, having faith in your discernment, having faith to trust the universe when they start to show you the answers. And your last 2 cards is the 2 of discs, a card of change. And it comes out over a card of take a break. A life's work, not a season. Get off the treadmill. There's definitely a higher purpose that you're being led to. And there's a purpose for the things that didn't work out in the past. Because they created a new identity for you. They created a power from within. And it's protecting you from others that may try to take you for granted. It's protecting you from all of the negative thoughts or emotions within you that you carry from the past. You know, the Seven of Cups is a lot of heavy emotional baggage that we haven't healed. And to move into the Princess of Swords energy, we have to lighten up. We have to let go. We have to pick a path or pick a direction. Decisions have to be made, and it's regarding your love or your money or your career or simply your abundance, and it's sort of that abundance mentality. I think you're finding a way to believe in yourself, to overcome the self-doubt in areas where you need to shine your light now more than ever. And your animal spirit card is that of the mouse. This is the energy that you start the eclipse with. The mouse card is kind of anxious. This is a card where you keep yourself very busy, but you can exhaust yourself. You can exhaust yourself and create a greater illusion for you. You're making it harder. You're thinking a little too much. And it overwhelms you. And I think you're being forced to take a break, to kind of go within and meditate, to separate yourself from the stresses. If you can go on a vacation or a weekend getaway, that would be extremely beneficial. If you can lose yourself for a while in things that you can be passionate about. You know, this could be a sexual card as well. If you can get away from the worry and the stresses of the world and allow yourself to kind of participate in the the beautiful things that are surrounding us, and to kind of allow yourself to get grounded. That's where your answers come in. Because change is definitely going to take place once you make the decision, once you decide on the path that you want to take. The change will happen without much effort. Take a break card. What you're being led to it doesn't take much effort. The more you can kind of relax and allow yourself some compassion and forgiveness, the better the outcome will be, because at the end you come out the dragon. And this is someone who's in complete control, who's not held back by fears, not held back because they're afraid to stand out in society. They're authentic. They know they're different for a reason, and that there's a purpose. And that going within will kind of guide you. There's a divinity guiding you at this time, and you have to sort of allow it. That's where the success will come. And you'll know because the pieces kind of fall into place. Like everything is honestly being divinely guided. And that's what takes you out of the Seven of Cups energy. That's where you begin to gain that clarity, when you realize that one little step after the other, one talk, one communication, one truth after another kind of leads its way. And the people and the things that belong in your life, you just simply attract. Definitely going through a lot of change, but you're getting a lot of answers now. Even the things that are difficult, even setbacks, periods of withdrawal, maybe separation from a loved one, they will ultimately bring clarity to the situation and direction and plans for the future. You just take a sip for a second. Okay, pile number 2, the rose quartz. Wow. Wow. This is a really powerful reading. Okay. So, first card, 5 of Wands, the card of strife. This is an energy of jealousy, of ego, of struggle. Power struggles are at play here. Control issues a lot with the 5 of Wands as well. And it comes out over a card of Scorpio, card of transformation. And it's a card of 20 breaking down to 2. The 5 and the 2 is a 7. 7 are always cards of adjustment, which ironically is your next card, a 7 of Swords. So, right off the bat, I think you are transforming the way that you overcome pain and struggles within your life. I don't know, I see the 5 of Wands sometimes as simply this energy of, you know, you've been through some stuff. Things have not been easy. This is an energy where you could be exhausted, where it feels like every corner that you turn, there's another drama, there's another emergency, you know, and it does feel like that in the collective as well. Every time your phone dings, you think, what could possibly be happening next? How could this get any worse? But the struggles and the pain, they serve a purpose. And the purpose is to transform parts of your life that have to change so that you could stand in your power again. This is definitely a fight for, you know, Scorpio can represent intimacy and trust issues. And maybe where we have struggled with trust and intimacy and vulnerability, maybe where others have really hurt us, maybe it has stripped us down, much like that of a Scorpio. They strip you down so that you could see your own power, so that you could see yourself in a different way, and that you can operate from a stronger place. Now, next to the 5 of Wands, again, is that 7 of Swords. And the 7 of Swords is a card of self-sabotage, of deception. Now, I know a lot of people will attribute it to, you know, people lying to you, people deceiving you, but all the same, it is how we sabotage ourselves by ignoring signs, by ignoring our intuition, by allowing others to take us for granted, maybe not drawing the correct boundaries. And the Seven of Swords comes out above the card of Virgo. I analyze. Now, my Virgo card is one of my favorites because they are so intelligent and so mercurial. And mind you, we are in a lot of Mercury energy. So, the card of Gemini, where Venus and the Sun have joined together and somewhat opposing this moon. My Virgo card is always a card of analysis paralysis. Where maybe we spend so much time in our head analyzing situations in which we've failed ourselves, in ways in which, you can look at this as kind of feeling like we've wasted our time. We've wasted our energy on the wrong things. But again, I'm reminded that those things did serve a greater purpose. That you may have put an end to a lot of situations that caused you unhappiness. You have maybe recently stepped into your power. Maybe you left a partner that wasn't good for you. Maybe you left a job that was, emotionally draining. They caused too much drama and too much strife. Maybe you left a situation in which you honestly felt unsafe. Maybe your intuition told you to walk away from something. And then you went into this mental kind of mind space. This is sort of like the left brain and the right brain kind of energy balancing out. And starting to realize the role that you played within all of this. Taking accountability and correcting it. No longer deceiving yourself, but in a way, Virgo also likes to take a back seat. She does not like a lot of attention on her. She's often serving others, making others great. She is often empowering others. And so it's really important that Virgos use discernment, and oftentimes a Virgo will see potential, because they see quality. They see details that others may overlook. And they could dig deep and use that mental prowess to kind of see potential in things. But people don't always act on their highest potentials. And we put a lot of pressure on others to perform, but not nearly as much pressure as we put on ourselves. And once we work all of this out, once we get a better balance between our ego and how we may let our ego sabotage us, maybe in ways of not saying no to people, not standing up for yourself, not seeing your own value, not seeing how maybe you really stand out, how there's a job for you to do. There's something you're meant to accomplish. And you have to know that you deserve it. Oftentimes Virgos will be stuck where they feel like they're not good enough. They don't know enough yet. Like I said, the analysis paralysis or the anticipatory anxiety. The feeling like you're coming close to culmination in something you've wanted very badly. But because you're so close and you could feel the energy, you start to manifest in a negative way. And you start to worry about all the things that could go wrong. All of the ways that you don't have control over. And the universe wants you to operate from a place of faith. And this Knight of Cups comes in. Now this could be your energy, or this could be the energy of someone coming towards you. And the Knight of Cups is somebody who could be very romantic. And he comes out under the card of Sag. And I like the way both of these are sort of aiming towards this upwards direction. So I see a lot of movement here. And there's a lot of love. There's love and there's passion. This could be the beginning of a relationship. It could be the beginning of a creative project. You know, this could be fertility. It could be fertility literally, and it could also represent, you know, something coming up emotionally, new ideas, new creative pursuits that come from a very emotional place. And there's also a freedom that I sense here. Sag is free. And I think you're stepping out of holding yourself back from connecting emotionally, from believing and having faith that you do deserve love, that you do deserve this thing that you know, whatever it is that seems to have been hard to grasp for maybe your entire life. You know, that one area in your life that you just can't seem to get a grip on. You can't seem to meet a level of success. If this is in love, it's like you have one failed relationship, one disaster after another. And you begin to wonder if it's even worth it. You know, you come at it from a place of not even knowing if it's worth your effort. Because a Virgo's not afraid of being alone. They're not afraid of being independent. And the Sag is also a card of freedom, but I think you're freeing yourself from the self-sabotage, from the self-doubt, from the anxiety. Now this Knight of Cups can honestly be a person. I see it as a person coming into your life, and maybe he or she is different from your typical partner, from your typical attraction. Maybe there's a distance between you. Maybe they're from a different culture. Maybe they're from a different country, a different state. There's travel involved. But what happens with this eclipse is that this person is bringing you love. They're giving you an offer of love, and it strengthens you. It makes you see things differently, and it makes you brave. It makes you feel recognized and honored, because he's pointing right to the Star card. He's offering you recognition. I do want to say as well, because the Star card is clarified by 36, which is a card of 9, which is a card of breakthrough, dreams coming true, completions, passion of the wild red mother. There's passion. There's recognition for your passion. And this is right next to the Sag card, so there's almost a sexual or creative energy that's coming out from deep within you. Something gets really ignited with this eclipse energy. There may be a renewal within a relationship. Maybe things have gone stagnant. Maybe you've been too afraid to take things to the next level because you've somewhat been focused on your past. And now is a time where you become brave, where you choose your passion, There's a driving force within you, or somebody is so deeply attracted to you. This seems like a very spiritual journey. And next to the Star card is a card of Judgment. Yeah. Judgment. Destiny. You're being protected at this time. You may literally be being protected by somebody. I think somebody wants to take care of you. Somebody wants to help heal this side of you. And somebody's love can heal you to a point where real creation can be achieved. This, again, I'm getting fertility here. You know, maybe the coming together in this relationship brings you this renewed faith in yourself, renewed faith in the universe, and it makes you believe in yourself again, to see yourself in your authenticity and be suddenly being willing to stand out, to take a new position, to be seen, to be heard. If you want to come out, I don't know, there's like a change within you. And a recognition by others. This can sometimes, the Star card can quite literally mean a card of fame. And definitely achievement. So if you're hoping to receive messages of love and commitment, Knight of Cups, it's a beginning phase. So no, I don't think you're going to get a proposal for marriage at this time, but you may get a offer of love or an admission of love from someone, and it makes you feel really good. And it may alter the course of your life in some way. This is really powerful energy. There's healing that occurs here so that you could reach this new level of creativity and to get you on your path. I always like to read a passage from this book, so let's take a look at card number 36. Don't ask the conscious ones about the wine. Behold the glowing effect of it in the eyes of the drunks. Like that. This is the invitation to lay aside despair, to lay aside doubt in the capacity of the human heart, even your frustration and impatience. It is time to quit whipping yourself and others, no matter how noble the intention behind the whip may be, and start dancing instead. It's a card of rebellion. It's a leap of faith. It's allowing yourself to believe in the things that you should have been believing in all along. Believe that the universe will always give what you put in. If you've poured yourself into relationships in the past, but you never quite got your return, well, there's balance, there's judgment. The universe is saying, you've done the work, and here are the rewards. You've made the changes within yourself, and here is what you have attracted to you, which is that of abundance, which is that of deserving, which is that of receiving. And the Judgment card comes above the card of Trust, the Niggle. Again, having faith in your intuition. Maybe you've had to stop looking at things from, a logical point of view, and move into your emotions. All of this Neptunian energy that's coming up. Mars is our drive and our ambition, and it's kind of in this watery place where we can't really make logical decisions. Things just sort of happen from the heart. People just begin to operate from the heart. Forgiveness and compassion. You're seeing this right now play out collectively. You know, for once, real change may be here. We may be more willing to connect and collaborate with others in an openness and a curiosity. We can express how we feel. We can say, I'm sorry. We can forgive ourselves. And that's where we have renewed faith. Our beliefs are changing. Our belief in ourself is changing. We want more for ourselves. We want more from our leaders. We want more from our partners. We want expansion and growth in love. And so that's what we receive. Simply by stepping out of the anxiety of the not having it and stepping into the energy of receiving it and allowing it. I get the feeling it's right on your doorstep. What seems unclear can change in an instant, and it can become such a catalyst for growth. It's pretty powerful. Oh my gosh, I didn't even do your animal cards. I'm so sorry. Okay. So you got that of the deer, your first card. So you're in an energy of nurturing. Nurturing and allowing to be nurtured. There's a mothering, a going within and protecting yourself emotionally. Not in a bad way. You know, this card talks about, you know, kind of the mother and the newborn. How a mother is with a newborn baby. Like I said, we're giving birth to something. We're opening up to something brand new, and it's very precious. It's very special to us. And so right now we're in a hovering phase, and we're being asked to just nurture this and believe in this and love this unconditionally. Now is a time to use compassion, because that brings renewal. Because the deer becomes the whale. And here you are in this watery element, right? It's a watery element, but yet it's earth, because there's wisdom behind our emotions. And there is unstoppable faith. You know, the momentum behind the whale, the wake that it leaves, the space that it takes, the buoyancy for how big it is. Something really big is happening, and it's at the early phases. And in the next few weeks, you will nurture something that will bring you the ultimate wisdom, the ultimate lesson. It will maybe test your faith. You may get weary, much like, you know, having a newborn baby. There may be times in which it's not always so easy. You know, it's not easy to be vulnerable, and it's not easy to receive. It's not easy to realize that you deserve. We're abandoning a lot of childhood wounds that keep us in this mindset of maybe where we're not good enough. And it keeps our mind small. And so things we're really meant to achieve, we don't really feel like we're worthy of. But in contrast, it's time. It is time, and we are worthy of it. It's a really powerful reading. These are really powerful readings. This is a really powerful time, guys. And it's time to embrace it and harness it, because things might seem heavy. I know they seem heavy, but we've been through the worst in a lot of ways. And we're so much stronger, and we could see things so much clearer now. Change is more possible now than it ever was. When things are so dim, it's because we're at the brink of real success. The darkness before the dawn. The breaking point. And as I say that, right? Oddly enough, that you chose the Smokey Quartz, which is a crystal that is one of being protected. And I really feel like you are being protected right now. Wow, this again is another incredibly powerful reading, I have to say. Okay. So, the first card out, Three of Swords. Sorrow. But I like this Three of Swords, you know, because it's not the big heart like the traditional Rider-Waite. It kind of looks more like the Ace of Swords, right? It kind of looks a lot like truth and communication. And this card comes out clarified by Taurus. I have. Taurus is a fixed sign, and it can be stubborn. It could be kind of set in its ways. I mean, if you think about it, you know, Taurus is the bull. They're really hard to excite, right? But once they're excited, there's no stopping them. There's an incredible force. Now, you may be this Taurus energy. You may have been in this Taurus energy. It's an energy of resistance. It's an energy of holding on. You know, it's a card of I have. And it's a card of having control. And I think you've been operating out of a place where there was a lot of hesitation, where you held yourself back. Maybe you held yourself back from saying the things that you needed to say. Maybe you've held yourself back from apologizing, or maybe you've been unwilling to forgive yourself for a certain situation. Definitely, Taurus energy can be stubborn. But Uranus is in Taurus now. So there's kind of an electrifying truth that comes through. And again, as I said of the bull, there is momentum. And once you awaken the bull, there's no stopping them. You may have been feeling held back from a situation out of fear, out of doubt, of being a little bit too in your head, a little bit too logical, trying to attain a certain level of stability. Three of Swords could be missing out on opportunities because you have to quite simply focus on work, focus on responsibilities so that you could have the nice things. You know, Taurus can be a little materialistic because it's Venusian, it likes the finer things in life. And so it works towards it, and it values it, and it holds on to it. It appreciates it. Now the 3 of Swords comes out next to the 10 of Swords. Well, the 10 of Swords is definitely a breaking point. It's definitely an ending. There is definitely something ending here. A situation which just simply can't go on. You know, the 10 of Swords is, it's the 9 of Swords is the anxiety and the worry and the stress, and the 10 of Swords is just the ending. And you just simply have to let go. You simply have to allow the momentum. Because the 10 of Swords comes out above the Yod card. The Yod is a finger of God in our natal chart. What it means to have a Yod, what it means to have a Yod in your natal chart is that there is a definite path or purpose that you are meant to be on in this lifetime. And so the universe is going to step in and take control, and they may create endings in order to get you back on track, to get you back onto the path that you're meant to go on. If you are hesitating anything this month, resistance will no longer be an option. Hesitation will no longer be an option. You see, there's a narrowing with the Yod. There's a pressure. There's a pressure to end things, end burdens, end thought processes that sabotage you. It's a definite path that you're being led on. This is absolutely taking you to your North Node, to your ultimate destiny, your purpose in life. Now, I hate to say that because it sounds, sort of cryptic or monumental, but this could just be simple things. And again, the 10 of Swords is kind of a noisy card where all the things kind of come at us at once, When you're carrying too many grocery bags in your arm and one of them starts to bust, they start to rip at the seams, and you kind of have to make a quick decision as to what you're going to grab and what you're going to allow to roll away, what's going to fall to the ground. When things are falling to the ground, you grab only what you truly value. So it's discernment. It's clearing a path. And the Yod is clearing the path. It's lessening the options and making it clear. You will notice that if things are not working out, if you're bumping up against walls and blockages, it's for a reason. It's because those things weren't meant for you. And the universe is just going to continue to make it very, very clear. You may keep trying to get back together with an ex over and over again, and it never seems to pan out because you're meant to take a different journey. If someone is not cooperating, if someone is choosing their own free will to go down a different path than what you're choosing, You have to be okay with that. You have to acknowledge that each person is allowed to make their decisions and that it's not a personal attack on you. They just simply have to move on. And they're stepping away because the universe is leading you towards something better. Now, the Three of Swords is disappointment and heartbreak. And Taurus is a fixed sign where you could get stuck. Adjustments are being made. And they may be adjustments that have to be addressed within our relationships. You know, Three of Swords is definitely relationship related. It's definitely the energy that we have, what we give and what we receive, and the balance of it within the relationship. It's how we collaborate with others. But the Three of Swords is how others may disappoint us. And the idea is we are only disappointed because we give them that power. They're not trying to disappoint you. There's no bad feelings here. There's no, I don't see any revenge or anger or spite here. It's just simply a drifting away, outgrowing each other. It's just simply a different path. And the instant that you learn to not take that personally, to not blame it on yourself, to not retreat into yourself and refuse to look at love or opportunities again, where you self-limit yourself because you feel like this is all you keep getting over and over is people disappointing you. But that's your perception of it. Because the truth is, those situations were gifts. And if you took the time, you would see that every situation, every disappointment, it taught you a valuable lesson. And it got you here. And here is a really good part to be at. Here is a really good place. And if you could focus on now, if you could focus on the present moments, regardless of the situations that you're in, if you're dealing with chaos, if you don't even understand how things could possibly work out, well, you get the card of adjustment. It's a card of judgment. It's a card of faith. It's a card of justice and balance within your life. You might be narrowing things down in your life. It may get quieter because things will end. But the things that are ending are really mirrors of our own self-doubt, our own negative thought processes, what we try to control and hold on to too tightly because of our lack of faith, because of our history, because of all of the patterns that we've been through in the past. But you have to understand that now is different. The time period that we are in is different now. This is a very karmic energy. The card of justice means that the universe is trying to offer you what is meant to be yours. And the Libra card is balance in partnerships. I love the way that she's sort of reaching up towards justice. And Libra is a card of Venus. So she attracts things to her. As soon as you start to decide that you deserve abundance, that you deserve love, that you deserve success in life, it's yours. The second that you are brave enough to walk away from situations because you know deep within your soul, you know there's something better out there. This is almost like an Eight of Cups, irresistible journey to walk towards what's better, to strive for expansion and success. And once you decide that you deserve those, the universe has no choice but to deliver it to you. It is your energy, it is your frequency that attracts this to you. Relationships, either an old relationship becomes new. There is a reconciliation that you may have thought was impossible. There may be second chances. Maybe the person, the Taurus person that disappointed you in the past, wants to make things right again. And you might hear this now and say, oh, hell no, I'm not going back there. But if you're willing, to look at it again, the Libra card promises that relationships and partnerships will inevitably work out. It is a promise. It is a card of engagement. It is a card of marriage. It is a card of true union. And the Libra card comes out right next to the card of one, another card of union. And the card of union is clarifying the Princess of Discs. A card of Taurus, a feminine card of Taurus, where we have a male, a masculine depiction of Taurus over here. So there's a balancing of energy between the giving and the receiving in relationships. You know, the Princess of Discs knows her worth. And it looks like she's just tapping into it. And I love this. Take a look at this for a second. I am always, always humbled by the cards and their messages. Clearly, you are digging deep with this eclipse. You're exposing something that you didn't know or you didn't see before, something deep within you. Because if you see, this staff is kind of pointed towards, I almost get the idea of Pluto, the underworld, our shadow side. And it's shining light. It's exposing the light. And look the way that light flows right down here into this card of union. If you or your partner have been holding back, truly being intimate, truly being vulnerable with one another, holding back communication and feelings and emotions because of fear, because of that imbalance, because there's a fear of rejection here. You know that you're not willing to settle anymore. That either a relationship has to go deep, there has to be a deeper unity, a deeper connection within it. And this is the opportunity for that. There's absolutely a deepening. There's a light that's coming in. And you are being so supported. I want to read you a passage from this one card, this Rumi card. Card number 6, which is my card of divinity. This oracle comes to you with particular guidance. There is friction or conflict within you or your life right now, a sense perhaps of being pulled in more than one direction, and confusion because of this. You are questioning which path to take, this way or that. What if you choose this path and it turns out the other would have been better? But how can you know now what choice, if any, is the most needed in your life? There's so many questions. Like I said, that's that noise kind of in your head. Your mind is scurrying. There is no other word for it. Backwards and forwards it goes, to and fro, trying to settle upon the truth. And I love you too much to allow this to continue unchecked. Surrender it, give it up. The truth you seek is this: you shall be. The fact is, you simply get to choose. Things become clearer and clearer as this energy pours through. And you begin to wake up to a greater calling and a greater purpose, something that really serves your soul, something that touches you on a much deeper level, and something that renews your faith in the universe, your faith in humanity, your faith in a particular person or situation. There is justice coming. There is reward for all of the work you've done. There is stability. You're stepping into stability. And with that Princess of Discs, because she knows her self-worth, and because she knows she's being protected, and because she knows she is never alone, she is able to take risks, because they're not really risks. For her, they're just simple steps in the right direction. She is grounded. She is not living in her imagination. This is no longer a dream world. Her dreams are becoming a reality. She's tapping into her own power. And she is a reflection of this, of the Ace of Cups energy, of unconditional love, of self-acceptance, of knowing that you have to love yourself and you have to show others how to love you. And quite simply, it seems like whatever you decide you deserve, you shall get, you shall receive. It is coming. There is a breakthrough, and there's really no stopping it because it's fated. It's your purpose. It is the love that you learn. It is the love that you receive. The love within this situation that creates a reality where you are healed enough to be vulnerable. You are healed enough to connect to bring these things into the 3D world and actually manifest them into physical realities, into the commitments, into the physical things, the cars, the homes, the businesses getting off the ground. And it's a solid foundation, and it's a solid foundation within yourself. That you no longer are in codependent situations, but you're in fated situations, one where you're meant to grow and expand with each other. You go from a frog to a fish this month. The frog represents a cleansing, a healing process. This could be very emotional. This could be a very emotional time where you have to accept a lot of truths. You have to allow a lot of things to come to an end. But what you sacrifice now, what you give up, what you release control over, will double its value. All you have to do is have faith. Because the fish card is the card of surrender. And remember that Mars is in Pisces right now. We're being asked to surrender. Because there's inspiration, and this quite honestly means there's inspiration from the moon energy, from the eclipse. The eclipse comes in, and the fish is about movement, but the fish can become weary. And you can find yourself trapped, like, do you want to be a fish in a fishbowl? Do you want to be stuck doing the same things over and over, being in the same relationship over and over again? Or do you want to change the dynamic? Do you want it to grow? Do you want to expand your waters? Do you want to flow easily? Again, all of these readings are pointing to the path of least resistance. Is being handed to you right now. The Sag eclipse is no joke. If you could deal with the friction, if you could get over yourself, if you could forgive yourself and acknowledge that you were never supposed to be a perfect human being in the first place. And we don't have to be perfect for each other. The perfect mate doesn't have to be perfect. Maybe you just need to accept them for who they are and love them. You can't control your children all the time. You just have to love them for who they are and allow them to be. And then fall in love with them all over again. Get to know each other all over again from a freer place where you don't have to be in control of it. You're somewhat washed of this, old mindsets of like issues of abandonment, maybe even some PTSD, things that trigger things that make us feel afraid, make us kind of freeze and avoid change. You're resisting change because of self-doubt and not believing in yourself. And the universe just says it just can't be that way anymore. You have bigger things to do. You have more important matters at hand. And you can't waste energy on trivial things. Remember, you're not alone. There could be times when you feel alone. There could be times where you feel, even if you do have a partner, that the communication and the understanding and the compassion aren't there. Remember, you're mirroring each other. So an ounce of compassion and communication can move mountains this month. If you're willing to strip down your ego and your pride and open the lines of communication, to go deeper into your feelings, go deeper into the past, look deeper at what you can learn from the situation. That's where your abundance comes from, the learning and the growth. The universe just says it's time. It's time for you to move into this new phase. You will no longer have the opportunity to hesitate. Because once all of this comes to the surface, your heart is so lit up that whatever is being born, whatever new opportunity, whatever new relationship, whatever new emotional commitment that's happening, it comes from a place of divine love, because you're deserving of being nurtured and loved. And you're also meant to give that to others. What you give, you shall receive. So do not hold yourself back from giving. All right, well, those were really stellar readings, and I'm definitely even more humbled than I have been at the amount of change, at the way the universe is really correcting things at this time. It may look really hard, it may look really impossible right now, but it is not. It truly isn't. So do not manifest from places of doubt or fear. The only way out is through love. Okay, everybody. I'll be dropping in soon. I'll be doing another reading in regards to the Cancer eclipse that's coming up. And I have a couple other ideas as well that I will check in with you and talk about. In the meantime, please take care of yourself, take care of your energy, and listen to your body and your intuition. Above all else, listen to that intuition and tune into the messages the universe is giving you. They're talking very profoundly to all of us right now. There is magic that can come of this season, great leaps and bounds of achievement. You know, we may have felt like we've had to take a few steps back, but you'll see it was for a good reason, because it will ultimately catapult us to the next phase, to the next level. You know, I talked a lot in the beginning of the year about that Capricorn energy where we're kind of climbing that mountain. And right now we're at that peak, that place where it gets a little bit dangerous. It may be hard to breathe, and we kind of have to adjust. We have to adjust to the new environment and allow ourselves, you know, like the alchemy, to set in where we get more comfortable in our new surroundings. And we learn to operate from this different place. We learn to operate as a new version of us. And we find new beliefs, and with that, new opportunities that come in. But no, it won't be pretty, and it won't be easy. When I say there's a path of least resistance, it doesn't mean that things will flow to you easily. It just means that you'll know when you're on your right track, because things will tend to fall into place. Things will work themselves out. But there will still be sacrifices. There will still be letting go. There will still be a mourning period of the old version of self. You may be scared. You know, you're facing fears right now. You know, what if you lost your job? Well, most likely, everything would be okay. In the grand scheme of things, everything will always be okay. We will make it okay. But it's how will we be different? How will this change us? How will this experience make us stronger, make us wiser, make us more inspired? This is becoming whole within ourselves. These experiences, this call to courage is making us whole within ourselves. And I hope you find that inspiring in your personal life as well. And I hope that you realize that energy and how valuable it is if you could inspire others. If you could share these videos, if you could share any inspirational videos. You know, as light workers, we're being called. This is our calling. This is our duty to get the word out, to help you decipher the energy, to open your eyes a little bit. Now, we don't have the answers. None of us have the answers. You have the answers. And we're just here to tell you that you can have faith in those answers now. That it's a different atmosphere. If things didn't ever work out in the past, well, they will work out now. It's just different. So participate and give back. Inspire others, teach others, have compassion, and don't get stuck in areas of judgment. Judgment can really bring you back. It could really regress you if you're passing judgment on others. If you believe there is only one way, if you're stuck on one belief and you're not willing to adjust your viewpoints, that's where you'll struggle. So don't resist. Do not resist in this energy. Open the door. It's opening for you. You may have to push a little bit, but ultimately, it's a door to probably your greatest journey. And it is a journey of freedom. We're freeing ourselves to be everything we want to be. To have the life that we want to have. To value the things that we want to value, and to have the right priorities. Take care, everyone. I send you so much love and light, and I know we're all going to get through this. I know we all have the courage and the strength to overcome yet this obstacle. Take care, guys. Bye.